Hi guys, Robyn here from GrillGirl.com, and as part of my hashtag Girls Who Grill series, we've got Cathy Pullin here.
Hey guys, what's up?
And for those of you who don't know, Cathy's like a total badass and is really active in competitive barbecue and steaks. But Cathy, I want to take it back and really see, like, how did you actually get into cooking and grilling?
American Royal is where I got my teeth cut.
Your teeth cut?
Yes.
Okay.
One of my husbands, we don't talk about that, but my last husband, him and his brother cooked at the American Royal every year for a couple years, and I went down one year, and it was the year of the October surprise where we got a lot of snow. And so we were real cold, and the guys were, of course, drinking, trying to keep warm, and I'm cooking ribs, and I'm cooking a side dish. They burnt their ribs, and they burnt their side dish. So guess who they turned in? Mine.
Oh.
I got final table on my ribs.
Oh my Lord, the
at
first
the American
time.
Royal, at the first time. I was hooked. I was hooked. That was it.
Wow.
Hooked. Line and sinker.
And how did you learn to do the ribs? Were you just hanging out with them and just had been cooking?
Just watching Richard cook all the time. You know, I pretty much just followed his recipes, cooked them on a black Weber kettle.
I love that you cook on a kettle because, you know, I think a lot of people are like, oh, I need this really expensive grill.
Oh, you can cook on, you can build a cinder block fire. You know that.
Yeah,
build a pit out of cinder blocks. You can cook on anything.
Okay. Now, so now you've been doing the competitive circuit.
Yep.
And tell me a little bit about your team, because I've heard that you do a lot to kind of raise awareness. So let's talk a little bit about that, your team and what you do kind of behind the scenes.
My team is called Team Sassy.
Team Sassy, I like it.
I'm a little sassy, so you know, gotta have that in there. And one of my rubs is called Sassy. So
nice.
I'm a domestic violence survivor, and honestly, that's one reason I like being in a male-dominated industry.
Right.
Because it proves that not all men are bad.
That's a good point.
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
This group of people, we're family.
Yeah.
I may see somebody once a year, but by golly, it's like we just picked up from yesterday.
You're so right.
So that's the reason why I love the barbecue family. They're always available to help. We're not, you know, sure, we're competitive against one another, but at the same time, if somebody needs something, we're going to lend a hand and give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but with what I do a lot of is with catering and my seasonings, I give back a percentage to a domestic violence shelter in Guadalupe County.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, you know, when I was going through my heyday of fun times, as I call it, there was no shelters available. And so that's something that really needs to happen is we need more shelters, we need more awareness, and it's only going to happen with people stepping up and speaking out.
And so now you're raising awareness.
Yep.
And what a great, what a great platform, like you said. You're hanging out with a great community, but this gives you an opportunity to raise awareness.
That's correct. And you know, the guys are real supportive, and you know, to be honest with you, I can't say just all women are abused because men get abused too.
Yeah, for sure.
And more and more they're speaking out against it, and I think it's just because of the bravery of other people speaking out, and that's what it takes. We all have a story,
right?
Whether it be abuse, whether it be, you know, family troubles, whatever it is. We all have stories, and it's good to share stories because stories are healing.
Yes,
stories help others.
Yeah,
stories help others. And
stories are a way people can connect and understand, and it's a way the message can get out.
Right. It's a message through the madness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you know, a lot of women are just discovering grilling. I feel like the pellet smoker especially has made it very easy for women to really kind of learn how powerful smoke can be.
Yeah.
While also making it very easy, right?
Yeah. It's like setting the dial and leaving it alone.
Exactly.
And pray your auger works.
Yeah. Aren't you right about that? Oh my Lord. So what tips would you give women who are just starting out and learning to grill? And it doesn't have to be competition, just in their backyard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Number one, don't be afraid. I work on multiple different pits, and I treat them just like an oven or a stovetop.
Yeah.
You know, if I need it hot, I'm going to leave it open, I'm going to load it with charcoal, and run it hot and fast. If I want an oven temp, get it to your oven and walk away. I mean, charcoal grilling it's relatively easy once you learn. And every charcoal has a different smoke point, a heat point, and you know, Kingsford may take 10 coals to hit a 250. B&B may take 6. It just depends on your product. So get to know your product, and once you've got that, you can master it.
I love that you say like any pit is like an oven, because if you think about it that way, I think it really does take a lot of the intimidation out. You know,
what did that thing down in the prairie days? I mean, come on, guys.
Exactly. it's not new.
No,
right?
it's
like
not
cooking
new.
over fire has actually been around a million years.
That's
and
right.
who knew that, you know, probably the women were tending to fires back in the day anyway.
That's correct.
So
making bread on fire.
Totally.
Yeah, pies. Believe me, you can cook anything you make on your oven or stovetop on a pit.
That's so right. And what is your favorite thing to cook? Like outside of just grilling, like are there a couple dishes that you're like known for?
My candied pork belly is one of my favorite appetizers. It comes out in a little 1-inch cube, and I call it decadence on a stick.
Yes.
It's sticky and gooey and sweet and salty.
Yum.
And almost looks like a brisket burn-in because I cook it and render it that long.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one of my most favorite appetizers to cook, especially if I'm doing a lot of charity events for domestic violence awareness. You know, I'll buy 90 pounds of pork belly and it's gone in 2 hours.
So candied pork belly
Yes.
is one. Yeah.
Yes.
Would you be willing to share the recipe?
I
on
certainly
GrillGirl.com?
would.
Yes,
I
major
will.
score, you guys. What else? Like are there other things that are just like, oh my God, that's Cathy's recipe and she's known for
it's
it.
called sauce patat, and I'll share that as well. It is the side dish from the American Royal. It's basically a sausage potato stew. That's why I call it sauce patat.
Nice. I love it.
And it will turn into a great gumbo. I'm allergic to shellfish, but people will take my recipe and they'll add the Cajun ingredients to it to make it more of a gumbo style.
That's perfect.
So I will be more than happy to share that recipe with you all as well.
Another major score, you guys. And what are you prepping today? So we're at the Shed Steak Showdown, you guys, but it's not just steak. There's a little bit of everything here. So what are you making right now, Cathy?
Right now I'm chopping up some turkey breast. I'm going to make a turkey lasagna wonton cup.
Oh my God. I'm definitely going to be sharing pictures of that. So you guys, you'll see this video later, but I'm definitely going to have to take a picture of that.
I'll actually be using the PK to brown the meat with the pancetta and then using the barrel to cook the wontons.
Oh my gosh, that is like what a cool idea.
It's so cool because what you do is you spray a cookie sheet tray real good, or a cupcake tray real good, and you just put little one wonton in there and fill it with whatever you want. 20 minutes bake, you're done.
That is so brilliant.
Individual little bite-sized pieces for parties.
I love it.
Perfect.
And I love that you cater because I really want to. We're gonna have to talk later about catering tips because I'm just intrigued by all of that. You know, it's one thing to cook for a small amount of people, but it's another thing to just put that on steroids and still execute something delicious, but for the masses.
I think the biggest catering job I had was actually for a relative. It was a wedding last summer. It was for 450 people with 3 menus.
Holy shit!
She wanted a kids menu that consisted of sliders, mini corn dogs, chicken nuggets, and then fruit kebabs. And then the bridal party had a special chicken confit, basically chicken cooked in butter.
Yeah.
And then everybody else had pork tenderloins. So 3 separate menus for 450 people.
Oh my Lord.
And I do this by myself, guys. That was a chore.
Yeah.
It was a chore. I actually hired help to serve on that one.
Oh wow. Well, you have to. You don't want to kill yourself.
Yeah,
Now,
I do that all the time.
What would you say, like, when you're catering? What are some of your go-to things, like, for like that are kind of like showstoppers, but actually like maybe surprisingly easy?
My jalapeno poppers, because they're big. I like to buy jalapenos that pretty much fit the palm of my hand, and I slice it in half.
Nice.
And people are looking at that and going, "Ooh!" So
Love a good popper.
those are one thing that everybody likes to get. My brisket.
Ooh,
I don't care if
can't
it's
go
a
wrong with
choice
brisket.
brisket or a Wagyu brisket. My briskets are tender and juicy. Even the lean, people go, "I don't want the lean." Now just try it, and then I'll give you the fatty side. And they're like, "Okay, get me the lean."
Yeah.
So
you're clearly doing something right.
it's called the love that I put in it.
Putting a lot of love.
Gotta put love. You know, you can cook, but if you cook with love, it tastes better.
Yeah. Oh, so right. So right. So, Cathy, where can people find you online if they want to learn more about you and your rubs and your team and all the really cool stuff you're doing out in the community?
Well, my rubs are in ATB here in Texas and New Mexico. And then they can also get the rubs online at HassleCattleCompany.com.
Okay.
And then you can follow me at Pullin BBQ on Instagram and Twitter. And then on Facebook, it's Cathy Pullin.
And for those of you on Facebook, if you're a woman and you're learning to grill or love to grill or wherever you are in your grilling journey, you can join my Girls Who Grill Facebook group. And we're all there to inspire each other and encourage each other. And Cathy is there as well.
And I'll even come out. I'm working with a lady right now in San Antonio. I'll come out to your house and show you some tricks.
How cool would that be? So you guys, Cathy Pullin, she's a badass. Thank you so much for letting me
You are too.
interview
Thank you, Robyn. I appreciate it.
good
It's a
luck
pleasure
today.
to finally meet you.
I know.
I think we kind of passed each other at WFC, but we didn't get to talk.
I know.
So
I'm
this
really
is
stoked
nice.
to meet you.
Yes.
I get to see you in action all day. So
Vice
you guys
versa.
give her a follow. She's a badass, and stay tuned for more.